Hi and welcome to Neo Just Makeup. I'm Neo, and today, like you saw in the title, I am going to finally go like full on about the Rebel Rose collection. So I got that. I literally ordered it like less than an hour after it went live. So let me grab it real quick. I have the full collection box, and you might have seen did unbox it on Instagram because I was like, I want to actually test some of this before I actually give my thoughts about it instead of just like obsessing over it like everyone else does. Instantly just being like, oh yeah, I like this, but since they're skincare, I'm like, let me give it a few weeks and see how I like it. Uh, and the first thing I had to say is, I love this collection. Now I know that's probably not a surprise since I stated Wet n Wild is pretty much like my favorite brand. Um, but that being said, I was actually really blown away by the skincare. And hold on, I think I put this a little too high. I was really surprised by the skincare because I was like, I'm not expecting much. But I will say the toner has helped out my skin so much. Like my skin is now like more like normal, like less oily, and I'm like, okay, if the toner can do that in like a week and a half, 2 weeks ish, I'm down. I will say though, and here's the thing: the toner lives in my bathroom, so there's that. Uh, this multi-use oil, not for me, sis. I'm just looking at it. It looks like some of the oil's leaking through. Fun. Um, so in that case, I'm gonna leave this out. I honestly need to find a friend that has more dry skin, and I'll give them that because the oil is not for me. The serum primer, I haven't worn it for like a weird test, like to see how it will wear or anything. But I know that every time I've used this, I'm like, my foundation goes on smoothly, my skin feels really good. So I do like this. Even though, like I said, I haven't really put it to a test to see how long it can wear. The balm, I have mixed feelings about, I'll be honest. Um, so the lip balm, I have mixed feelings about because I will use this and I will notice my lips will immediately feel drier. It's interesting, like, I'm just gonna put it on. I had it on the other day during the tutorial, and it changed the color I had on since it was underneath. So the thing is, it will give you like a hit of hydration immediately, but then like once you remove it, it just dries out your lips. So this one, I'm like, it's a little bit of a miss. I'll be completely honest. I will say though, the lip scrub, I love their lip scrubs because they always like help rejuvenate the lips and it just feels so good. The scent slash flavor is interesting because it is rose, and it's like a rose sugar. So it's interesting. I prefer their watermelon scrub. But that was it with the skincare. Uh, so that part just comes out, and now we're gonna go on to the makeup. Quickly, let's talk about the brushes. I mentioned on Instagram these are really light and weird feeling. I will say, really soft bristles, and it's really good if you like are trying to get like high into the crease. But once you like try to get into the crease or lower, the petals will hit your eye. So if you're not a fan of that type of thing happening, I'd say stay away from this. It's a really good brush though. Oh, I call this one Big Mama because I love her. Okay, so a lot of the stuff in this collection is scented like roses, and it's not an artificial rose scent, it's a true rose scent. And I had to say, this brush for blush is just like perfect. It hits the apples, it blends it out, it holds on to the smell. And I even mentioned on Instagram, this one again is also weird because the stem is really light, but this is like weighted. So you have something that's like really light, like all the way through until the top. and then it feels like heavy there. But blending out for blush, this is great, especially for the cream blush. I haven't tried it for a powder blush just because like I just been using it for that for the cream. I already have another brush for blush if I'm going to use powder, so I now have two separate ones. Speaking of the blush, I was so expecting not to like this. I was like, oh, this is the part I'm probably like gonna like the least. I love this. Like, I can't even joke about it. I'm like, the funny thing is, the night I had it on my Instagram story that I was unboxing everything, I got a message from a friend. They're like, I need you to swatch that. I'm like, uh, hun, I don't even know what it's gonna look like. Like, I don't care. You need to swatch that. So what did I do? I grabbed it and I swatched it. And I was like, because I swatched it right here. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. They're like, okay. And sure enough, the next day I used it for a video, and I was using the blush. I was like, ah! It's incredible, and it has that rose scent. It's so good. Real quickly, I want to talk about the lipsticks. Kiss of Death is beautiful. Deviant Damsel I haven't used yet because it's a purple, and purples I know tend to stain on me unless it's Jeffree eyeshadow, because that purple never stained me. But this one, I've seen other people use it. It looks so beautiful, but I believe it takes 2 coats. Now, the high shines. You have Bud Romance and Petal Poison. This one ends up like taking a while to coat up, and I'm not a fan of the finish, sadly. And this one builds up a little bit easier, but again, I'm just not a fan of the high shine finish. Like, I'll put it on just because it comes off easily. Okay, so that one is blending in with the lip balm I had on. And the color is pretty, but again, I'm not a fan of these high shine finishes. That's just a personal thing, but I mean, I'm not going to say that the colors aren't pretty. And I say I'm not a fan of these, but I'm going to use this one and look today, so there's that. Okay, so onto the eyeshadows. I've only used 2 of them. I only used House of Thorns and Secret Garden Rendezvous. I will say I love House of Thorns a lot. This color story is so up my alley. That red is super pigmented. The black is nicely pigmented. The bronze is really nice. And that green, I used this in my full face of Wet n Wild and I loved it. Secret Garden Rendezvous. This was the first time I was ever disappointed with a Wet n Wild eyeshadow, which was this one right here, this navy. I thought it was going to be a little bit lighter, a little more pigmented. It's the only time I've been disappointed in Wet n Wild's eyeshadows. This one's a little bit darker than it seems in the pan, so I'm warning you there. These two, gorgeous. Bed of Roses I have not used yet, so I'm going to use that one right now on camera just so I can show you what it looks like. Taking the Wet n Wild liquid eyeshadow. Going to take this shade and just buff it into the crease. Just a little bit above, actually. That is very nicely pigmented. There is a little bit of patchiness, but I think that might be the brush. So I'm going to take a different brush and just real quickly blend that a little bit more. Okay, so it was definitely the brush. I'm going to take this purple shade. That one is a little bit more powdery. Now I'm going to take this like berry metallic and just place that on the other. Okay, now I'm going to take that very bright pink. I will say that's a really nice color, but it's not showing up as nicely as it is in person. So real quick, I'm going to take it with my finger. Sometimes that's all you need. Okay, so that's all the colors from this quad. I will say Bed of Roses. Okay, so the mattes are really nice. This deeper metallic shows up nicely. This lighter one, I feel like that's one you either need to use wet or have a base underneath it, so that way it really sticks, because otherwise it just shows up really glittery. But hey, you know what? That was a quick eye look, and I could real quickly just smoke out the other colors, like those two mattes underneath, and you can call it a look. Is it the best look I have done? No, because I just quickly threw it together. But you can still do it. And I think that's the really good thing about these quads is like they're set up to where there's colors that work so well with one another that you can just like slap one, two, crease, one lid, pop it in the corner. And honestly, for $5, I can't complain about that. Now, everything. Okay, so the quads are $5. They're $4.99 or $5.99. So they're $5 or $6. I say get House of Thorns or Secret Garden Rendezvous. Those two are really nice. This one is probably my least favorite. Bed of Roses. The blush is really good, and I believe that is either $4 or $5.99. The lipsticks are $4.99. I'd say go for the mattes because those are going to be your better bets, especially Kiss of Death. I will say Bud Romance is a really nice color, but again, High Shine, not for me, but if you like a nice, like, glossy lip, get these, they do last. The brushes. Those are $7.99. I say get the blush brush, don't worry about the eye brush. And if you're getting the blush brush, get the blush. The skincare, the toner, I already have a backup. I know I'm gonna get another backup because it works so well. The oil, again, I'm gonna give that to a friend. Uh, the primer, the serum primer, it makes your foundation go on so easily, so I like this. And the lip balm, it's lip scrub, I like. Aside from that, that's everything with the collection. And yeah, honestly, I'm really impressed because there's very few duds this time. I mean, for me, it's like one, two. Okay, well, for me, the high shine lipsticks, again, those aren't my thing, so that kind of counts as duds, but the colors are pretty, so I'm not going to count them as duds. The eyeshadow, the one quad I just threw on now, I'm not going to count it as a dud because it still works and looks good. So honestly, the only dud is like the oil and the balm, so. For only having 2 duds out of a whole collection, I can't complain. And I mean, yeah. Now hold on. I feel like I just need like a little something to pop here. Okay, so that's one thing I can say. This gold should be in the Bed of Roses palette. I mean quad, instead of the Secret Garden Rendezvous, because then that pink would actually flow really nicely with the other eyeshadows that are in the Secret Garden Rendezvous. Anyway, I need to stop rambling so I can get into some other videos. But if you like this video, please do like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to get anything, go to wetandwild.com or wetandwildbeauty.com. They'll have everything available there, including the sets I think are still available. Walgreens, I've seen them in store. That's how I have a few extras of a few things. And yeah, honestly, I said it before, Wet n Wild is probably my favorite brand, and there's a reason for that because they've been putting out some really good products lately, and I like what they're doing. So I'm going to go so you can move on with your day. I'm going to stop rambling. Hope you have a good rest of the night or day wherever you are, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.